Good evening, everyone. I welcome you all for today's webinar. My name is Shivika. Today's webinar is brought to you by Varthana. Today's webinar topic is how can data analysis fuel school growth. So before we deep dive into it, we are covering this theme, a series of webinar for school under different themes. So far, we have covered helping school transition back to academic year, 21st century education, and our current theme, which we are covering, is school development and growth. So please stay tuned to us to come across like to learn more, and we'll be doing more webinar in coming upcoming week as well. Also, we'll be issuing a participation certificate to the attendees. So please ensure that you're filling the participant form, the feedback form. So we'll be able to issue you the participation certificate. Thank you for joining with us today. Let's see what we have in today's agenda. So we'll start with introduction and session objective, followed by data and its important, data analysis and decision making, tool and technology, feedback and closing. So let's start with a quick introduction. So for introduction, I'm going to launch a poll here to understand the participant profile. I'll request everyone to please submit your response. So mostly we have school leaders with us today and teachers. Thank you for joining. Let's move and see what is objective of today's session. So today we'll focus on understanding the importance of data and data analysis to discuss the decision making and school improvement plan using data analysis, and also we'll be exploring some tools and techniques for effective data analysis. So as we all know that like everything which we see in our day-to-day life is somewhere related to data. From for example, even if you are going for a walk every day, if you are covering 2 kilometers, that is also a sort of data, right? So there's a lot of data which we have in our day-to-day life, which we use. So I would like to understand it from you, that what are some of the challenges you face as a school leader in day-to-day life? Like, what are your regular challenges you face, and do you do anything to cope with those challenges? You can either put it in Q&A section, or you can raise your hand. I'll request everyone to please participate as much as possible. What are some of these challenges you face as a school leader? Okay, so some of the challenges which we come across as a school leader, we face as a school leader is, I think, one of the constant issue which all the school leader or schools focus and wants to improve is focus on is how to improve the school, how to develop the different stakeholders, how to attract more and more parents, how to engage more parents, how to empower teachers to improve their retention, how to improve student learning outcome and cater their needs better, how to identify the needs of a stakeholder, what should you do to like know that what are the needs and how to cater that better, how to excel like excel as a best school, because there's a lot of competition in the market. So these are some of the common challenges which school leader or schools are facing these days. There are others as well, but if you all agree that these are the sort of challenges you are facing in your day to day life, or while running your school, or while working in a school, you can put it in the chat box, yes or no, if you are facing some similar challenges. Okay, someone has mentioned in the chat box that getting every child learn in an interesting way can be a challenge. Children from different communities, yeah, different background and diversity can be a challenge. So if you all agree that we are facing some similar challenges, you can put it in Q&A section, yes or no. Let's move and see that what is the solution of this. So the solution is quite simple, that is data. Data is a collection of information. It's a record of information, that what is happening and how it's happening and why it's happening, and it helps to make a better decision making. So, for example, if as a school owner, I want to develop 5 more classes in the, I want to build 5 more classroom in the upcoming year. So, if I have the data of my, if I have a clear understanding of my finances, resources, and how much I'll be needing to invest to build those additional 5 classrooms, it will help me to prepare my resources accordingly. So it helps in better decision making, and also ensures or a course correction if it is required. It helps to do that timely. And it also build a better decision making capability along with confidence. So if I know that for building 5 classrooms I need maybe 10 lakh rupees, if I need 10 lakh rupees, how I'm gonna get that? What would be the investment? If I'm investing so much, how many student I'll be enrolling to ensure that whatever resources I'm investing, I'm getting the return on it. So it gives the confidence to make that investment. So it's important to have data driven decision making. And some of the data which schools which are relevant for school is data related to student, like parents, staff, and the school culture. So these are some of the data which is quite crucial for school and school leaders. So let's move and see that why it's important for school. So it helps you to build a more productive staff, have better financial management, streamline your operations according to the cost, ensure student success in the future. So data is of multiple types. While moving on, we'll be covering that as well. So we know like what is data. Let's see what is data and decision making. So decision, like I'll just try to explain it with the help of an example, and I would like everyone to please participate. So here there's this context, there's this principle of a school ABC, and the school needs to identify the scope of improvement and create an action plan. So I'll just present a challenge here. I would like to hear it from you that what do you think can be done? So here the challenge is parents are not paying the fee. So based on only this line, do you think you can make you can do any key finding or any action plan? Only if you have this information that parents are not paying the fee. Do you think this is sufficient enough to come up with a plan? You can put it in a chat box, yes or no. Do you think this is sufficient? This information, this piece of information is sufficient to make any decision? Okay. So with this piece of information, the key finding is vague. You're not able to know or find that why parents are not paying the fee. So to make an effective action plan is a challenging task. So you may end up planning something which may not be even relevant. So for example, the action plan can be that you involve teachers in fee collection. Without knowing what is the root cause, you're just formulating a strategy which may or may not be effective. So let's see how, if we have certain data to understand the challenge, uh, how our decision-making capacity can get better. So here, if for the same challenge, if you have data saying that 50% of the 50% of the parents make late payment, 10% of the parents required reminders, and 10% of the parents have lost their income. So now you have a clear data to say that these set of parents are facing this challenge, and now you have a clear key finding that the parents need extended timeline. 50% of them who are making late payments, 10% of them who are forgetting may need reminders, 10% of the parents need alternative fee collection. So now you know exactly whom to cater what. So for 50%, you need extended timeline. For 10%, you have to figure out a way and formulate your action plan accordingly. So you can ensure that you are sending reminders, you're extending the fee timelines, you're providing alternative fee collection platform for those who cannot pay in one time. So we can with the help of this example, it's clear that database decision making are more efficient and effective when it comes to formulating an action plan. So let's move and see that what are the types of data. So there are 4 types of data, that is demographic, achievement outcome, process, and perception. So I'll request everyone to reflect a bit on this. That what sort of, out of all these 4 data, what sort of data accessibility we have in our school currently? What do you think out of this demographic, achievement outcome, process, perception? What sort of data you have? Do you think you have access or you have gathered any of these data? Maybe demographic, achievement, process, or perception? Okay, so if you see in your school setup, we focus mostly on demographic and achievement data. Demographic, what is the fixed data which is there related to enrollment, attendance, student details, teachers detail. So it's a descriptive information about your stakeholders which is there. So every school have access to this data. How effectively and efficiently we are using this data is up to us. We also have a lot of achievement data where we say that how school is performing, how student is performing, the teacher observation, what is the dropout rate or what is the enrollment rate. So these things are also something which we are capturing, where we are assessing the student performance at multiple level. But when you see the process data, that is, what is how the policy and system is functioning, whether it's effective or not. So for example, maybe you're using a curriculum which is above the student level. uh, so, for example, all of a sudden you started using ICSE curriculum, and your students are those students who have studied the state board or CBSE curriculum. So it's difficult. So the data information related to these things, we don't have access to that. How's the policies and procedure? Is the leave policy for your teacher is good enough to increase the retention or academic behavior of the student? If students are performing, how motivated they are, what is the parent enrollment, are they coming for PTA meetings or not, how effectively and attentively they are participating, what's the progress of the classroom practices. So maybe we focus on the learning outcome, but not a lot on the value aspect of the student. So process and perceptions cover that. Perception is opinion about something, how your stakeholders are feeling towards you, your school. So this is also one of the most neglected data. So in terms of learning environment, the infrastructure is sufficient or not, or is it good enough or not. So this data is also quite crucial for school to ensure the holistic development of child and grow school in long run. Values and belief, the culture which we are inculcating and developing, teachers or attitudes towards study, and all these can be captured and assessed or analyzed using Excel or Google form. So these are four types of data. I'll like moving on. I'll request everyone to please pay attention to it, because moving on we'll be discussing more about these four types of data and how you proceed and see it in your school. So we have seen what is data, types of data. Now see what are the types of data analysis. So there are four major types of data analysis. Data analysis is basically extracting an useful insight from the data, organizing data in a way, sorry, uh, organizing data in a way where you are able to extract the useful insight and implement suggestion and strategy accordingly. So there are four types of data analysis. One is descriptive data analysis, other is diagnostic, then we have prescriptive data analysis, and then sorry, we have predictive analysis and prescriptive analysis. So I'll start with the descriptive analysis. So here, when you are doing the analysis, you're focusing on what happened. So here I'll just give a quick example. So for example, the learning level of the student gone down post pandemic. So this is the description is what happened. So maybe the learning level of a student in certain subjects have gone down. Diagnostic is why did it happen. So I know that the learning level has gone down. Why did it happen? So it happened because there's online classes, there's learning through WhatsApp, there's parents were not able to help, teachers were not able to cater that effectively through online classes. So I want to understand that why did the learning level drop. Predictive analysis is what might happen in future. So for example, I know the learning level has dropped. It may impact the 10th result or also the future learning of the student or future earning of the student, because it will impact their earning capacity and income. And then the prescriptive is what should we do next. Now you know that what has happened, what is the market scenario, what is the skill set which we need, what you should do next to prepare these students for the future. So maybe you can focus on remedial class, you can gather data around that, which core skills you need to develop to ensure that they are ready for the future job roles. So these are four types of analysis which you can do using data. Here the other example is enrollment rate in a school is declined by 10% in descriptive analysis. But if I try to do the same diagnostic analysis of a data set, here my focus is that the enrollment rate is decreased by because of what, why there's a decrease. the predictive analysis, if I use the same data set and say that, okay, I want to understand that what might happen in future. This is what is happening right now. This has happened in past, but according to what is happening and what can happen in the future. So here you can just take the example of NEP, saying that, okay, the NEP has come up with implementation strategy and bringing activity-based learning more in the school. So you need resources to implement NEP in the future, how you can plan your resources accordingly. So that is something you can focus on, that you start preparing yourself for the future and what you'll do. So here again, to improve the enrollment, you have to focus more on community outreach through marketing campaign or advertisement to ensure that you are catering and capturing the market after identifying the need. Also, these analysis not necessarily has to go one by one. So maybe you end up doing diagnostic first to understand the problem, and do predictive analysis that this may happen in future, and then go to prescriptive, or you can do that predictive analysis that this may happen in future, and prescriptive analysis that what you should do next. So there can be mix and match of these approaches in your data analysis part. So now we have understood what is data analysis. Let's move and understand what is the process. So we have seen type of data, how you can, there are 4 types of data analysis process which you can do. And the other is the process of doing the data analysis. So it's important to improve a school, and this process helps a lot. As I have mentioned that we already have a lot of access to demographic and outcome related data. Let's see how using it effectively, like how we can use it effectively, and let's understand the process. So the process of data analysis has 4 steps. It's important to prepare the data exploration. You need to set a timeline when you want to do the data collection, how you want to do the data collection, what tool you will be using to do the data collection, who will be doing the data collection, what sort of question you'll be asking, what type of data you're looking at, what type of data analysis you'll be focusing on if you're doing it. So it's important to prepare for the data exploration, set clear guidelines and targets that what you're going to achieve, what you're looking for, and prepare your tools accordingly. The other step is collect and organize the data. So now you have everything in place. You have a data collection tool. You can start collecting your data, organizing your data, and also making necessary changes if required. So for in case of school, I may want to see that how many students are passing every year, like how many students are crossing, scoring 95 plus percentage every year. So I have decided that I may do it for a month, or maybe 2 to 5 days, to understand that how, what is the pass percentage of student in 10th standard. Now I'll start collecting the data. I may collect the previous year data and compare it with this year data, or I can have a fresh set of data and see that what is the pass percentage of 10th standard. Organizing the data is important, clearing and sorting the data so it's easy to read. We'll go to that. Then effective analysis of the data, that you are able to bring some out insights from the data. So now you have prepared, gathered the data, you have put it in a format, sorted the data. Now it's important to analyze the data and see what your data is suggesting or saying, and make some recommendations or strategies accordingly, and explain that what can be the future action plan. So this is the 4 step which we cover in data analysis process. I'll deep dive into it moving on. When we'll be covering tools and technology. So let's see, we have seen that there's this proper process which you follow. I'll be showing you this through the help of some tools which we'll be using. So some of the data analysis tools and technology are there are many other tools and technology available, but the 3 which we'll be covering today is Box and Whisker, Checksheet, and Survey. So these are mainly for school and quite effective when it comes to data analysis. So I'll start with a Box and Whisker plot. So it's a tool which helps you to do a graphical representation of the data. It shows the distribution of the data and helps you to understand the tendency and the spread of the data. or like for example, how many students are doing average performance, how many students are performing more than 75%, how many students are scoring more than 75%, how many students are at the borderline and may flunk if they won't perform better. So this kind of graph, this kind of this tool gives you the understanding of the data in a graphic, in a form where it's easy to assess and bring the insight and work on it. Some cases which you can use this particular tool is when you're comparing scores of two grades, or maybe two subjects, and also when you're comparing previous or this year data. So for example, what was the maths performance of grade 5th in last year, and what is the maths performance of 5th grade in this year. So if you're doing a comparative analysis, this tool can be really effective. I'll just go to the tool and I'll explain you here better. So here there's this graph. You can see there's the plotting on x-axis. The classes are mentioned. Here we are comparing grade class 5A and class 5B math students math performance. So on x-axis the plot is the grade-wise data, and on y-axis the data is of the score the student has scored in maths. So here we'll be focusing on understanding some of the terms. So here, if you see, there is this minimum value. The minimum is represented by red color. It's showing the smallest data set, which the smallest the smallest score a student have received in the subject. So it's representing that. Then there is this lower quartile. Lower quartile is basically, if you see a quadrant, it's the first part of the quadrant where the lower 25% of the student lie. So which are the 25% of the student who are scoring the less mark in math subject is represented by lower quartile or first quartile. And here lower quartile is represented by yellow color. Sorry, it's orange color. Then we have this median value. Median is represented by black, and that is a number, average of numbers. What is the average number student have scored? And the other is upper quartile, the third part of the quadrant, where the remaining 25% who have scored above 75% other number or other student who are lying there. And then we have maximum value. Maximum value is represented by a blue, which are the in which grade a maximum number of student, which grade the student have scored the maximum marks. So this is the graph. I'll just show you the data set. So we will be sharing this with you. You can add around like approx 100 data set to analyze and compare different data. So here, if you see, in the lower quadrant, minimum student are scoring in 5A and 5B are around somewhere more than 25 and around 30. You can say that around 30 students, the minimum marks a student have scored in grade 5A is 30, and in 5B is on bit higher end. We can say 35. But if you see the lower quartile, the lower 25% of the student, what they have scored is 55, and it's 50 for 5B, grade 5B. If you see this line, the black line, it's the median. So in 5A grade student, the student have scored somewhere around 60 or 65, but in 5B you can see the line is slanting down, and the score is comparatively less. So here the median, the average is 55. So again here you can clearly see using these by seeing these lines that 5A is comparatively performing better, except where the 25 where the students are mostly in the lowest is the lowest mark which a student have scored is in 5th A. And if you see in 5th A grade, a student have maximum scored 100. On the other hand, the 50 student have scored 65 mark only, and that's the maximum a student have scored. So you can also change this data, and it will automatically get changed. So using this box and whisker plot, you can just see the performance and compare the performance with the help of this graph. So you don't have to make any changes here. You can just use this as it is and put your data set here. So let's go and see the other data analysis tool which is effective for the school is check sheet. So a check sheet is a simple tool. It's for systematically collecting the data and organizing the data, but in the form of graph or chart, that is mostly in the form of bar graph. And it gives it would be helpful especially for the events which are reoccurring. So you can do that. So for example, I am taking a assessment of a student in 1 month, then second month and third month, and I want to see how they are performing across 3 months. So that's a recurring event which is happening. The assessment is happening month by month. So here, such method can be effective. So this is just an example. You can use it in multiple ways, and it helps to understand the frequency pattern. If you want to say, if you're encountering some similar challenge, you can use this particular tool to deal with that challenge as well. So here I'll be showing this check sheet sample. So I'll talk about a bit of the data which we have with us. So here we have two type of data, data of pre-primary and a data set of primary. So for pre-primary, we have admission inquiry, new admission pre-primary, and payment of fee across 6 months. So what is the, how many people have inquired, how many have, we have got the new admission, how many of them have paid the fee. So it's for pre-primary for 6 months, and then it's for primary for 6 months. Now, the moment you put the data in this tool, you get a graph. Here again, we have this plotted on x-axis and y-axis. Here on x-axis, you can see the months are plotted, January, February, March, and so on. And y-axis, it's number of students who have inquired. So it's the data and number wise, not only number of student. And here blue color represents pre-primary admission inquiry, purple represents new admission in pre-primary, green represents payment of fee, red represent primary admission inquiry, new admission in again violet, sorry, this is purple, earlier was violet, represents new admission in primary, and orange represents payments of fee. So I'll request everyone to look at this data and tell me that in which month the primary admission inquiry was the most. I'll request everyone to look at the data and put it in Q&A section, that in which month the pre-primary admission inquiry, which is represented by blue color, is the most in which month. You can put it in Q&A section. I'll request everyone, please take a look at the graph and tell me that which month the pre-primary admission inquiry was highest. Okay. So I'll proceed with this. So you can clearly see in the month of April, the highest pre-primary admission inquiry was there. In the month of, and the new admission in primary is mostly in the month of April. So here you can clearly see the data. So for example, payment of fee was maximum in the month of May. So these different colors of graph is representing what is happening in which month. So you'll be able to make your action plan accordingly, and come and you can bring your key findings. You can understand the key findings that what your data is suggesting. So here it's difficult to read the data. You have the data set, but it's difficult to read them. But the moment you plot it on a graph, it's easy to read it. So for example, if you see the pre-primary admission inquiry is highest in March, the pre-primary admission inquiry is highest in April, the payment is lowest in the month of June. So maybe the school needs to focus a lot on fee collection in the month of April and May, because there's decline in June. So, or if the the pre-primary admission inquiry is more in April, maybe the school needs to start doing the campaign a month or prior, or branding and marketing a month or 2 months prior, to ensure that they are getting the inquiry and converting the admission. Also, if you see the primary, how many people have taken the new admission, that is represented by the purple color. So again, in the month of April, maximum students are taking admission, or in month of March and April, students are taking maximum admission. So like this, it's easy. So you have a data set. You put your data set in check sheet and see that how easy it is to come up with the findings or explore and understand the findings and bring the insight using this check sheet histogram method. So some of the key finding which we can see is maximum number of pre-primary admission inquiry happened in the month of April. I have already covered. Maximum number of pre-primary student took admission from April to June. So here you can say that the number of admission. The violet color, it's from April to June. So these are the month which you can maybe think of increasing your resources or your admission team to ensure that the admissions are happening effectively. And you can have multiple key findings accordingly for pre-primary section. Here the maximum inquiry happened in March. The admission maximum happened in the month of March to May, and the most parents who have paid fee in primary section is in the month of April to May. So you have the data set and you can make your action plan accordingly. For example, you know that the inquiry is happening more in March, so you can prepare your team accordingly. You can start doing your marketing campaign a month prior to it or 2 months prior to it. So, or you can organize a admission mailer, or you can organize a mailer to attract more parents when you know that this is the time of making the fee payment or taking the admission if they have inquired. So this is again one of the effective way. This is this tool which this also will be sharing with you, and you can do your data analysis effectively using this. The other is survey method. So survey is the most common method. So if you see from counting the population to doing this Sensex survey, also like a lot of surveys to understand the learning outcome, the learning gap. So survey is like one of the most commonly used methods. So even to understand a customer satisfaction, we do survey to understand what a school or what your parents wants, or if I want to change a policy. For example, I want to introduce additional remedial classes in the school and I want to extend school for an hour. So even for that, you can do a survey and get parents' consent that whether they'll be okay to do send their kids for the additional 1 hour or not. So survey is one of the crucial, easy, and effective way of doing the data collection. It involves either in asking question. It can be in form of verbal, non-verbal, in printed forms. You can gather the information, and it's help in forming a lot of crucial decisions. So survey can be done using a different method like questionnaire, open-ended questionnaire, close-ended questionnaire. You can take interview, FGDs, create online forms. So I'll want to like again understand here that do you guys do you have anything or do you do any survey for your school to understand, and if yes, then what that survey is about? You can put it in Q&A section. That have you conducted any survey for your school so far? Okay. Let's move on and see that in which cases you can use, as I've said, that to like know the preference whether they'll be okay or not. How we can cater student needs better, how we can cater teachers need better. If I'm proposing something as a school, whether parents will be okay taking it or not. And survey can be done. So for example, I have done a teacher satisfaction survey last year as a school leader, that are you like happy and satisfied working in the school, and is it motivating enough? If I want, I have done certain intervention and I want to again check whether teachers have seen some improvement in the work culture or not. So it's an effective way to even monitor changes over a time period. So this is again can be done using a simple Google form. So here I'll show you first of all that how you can create a Google form, because this is one thing which we all need. So you can just go to your Drive and create an Google form, and you can name your Google form. Here I'll just giving an example. You can just name it XYZ. You can describe to gather enrollment interest Interests related PTM. For example, you can just add your question. There are varieties of question you can add. You can have a multiple choice question, but if you want to have more than one responses. So for example, I am saying attended meeting thrice a month. For example, once, twice, thrice. So here I can make it a multiple choice question saying that like how many times you have attended, or maybe if I'm saying that as a parent teacher meeting, I have attended these sessions. I have attended how to handle teacher better, how to work or build a healthy positive work environment for a student. So in such questions you can give them a checkbox where they can opt for more than one option. You can also have a long answer or long paragraph questions or short paragraph questions. So if I just want to know the name, what is the name? So it can be a short paragraph, but if I want them to elaborate their experience, it can be a long paragraph question. So that's how you can add. You can make it a mandatory option that they have to fill it using this. You can once you share this, to share this, you have to go send, take the link and share, copy this link and share with them. And once you share it, to get to see whether you have got the responses or not, you can go to the response part. You can make create a response sheet here and see what is the response, and this will also give you automatically generated report. I'm going to show you that also. You can also do some setting changes here, that whom you want to like a response, how frequently, whether there should be one response or more than one form can be filled using one ID. You want to make it a quiz or not. So these are few basic settings. So that's how you can create a Google form. Now I'm going to go and show you one example of a Google form which we have created. This is just a sample. So here the sample is to collect the parents feedback form. So I'm doing as a school, I'm doing a survey, and I want to understand the parents feedback. So the question, this questionnaire is to understand the parents improvement in the parents participation. So I have done a survey earlier, and I have gathered some data. Now I'm doing the survey again as a school leader to see that what is the changes and what is the improvement which has happened after the intervention which I have planned. So here, as I said, this can be a short answer. You can just add name, classes, section, parent name, parent contact number, out of 6 PTM. So here again, it's a multiple choice question. It's not. So here you can put a scale saying that what is your experience on the scale of 1 to 5. Here you can just use this check boxes as I mentioned, that you can opt for more than one answer. So what are the reasons for not attending PTM? So as a parent can feel that I forgot the meeting, or timings are not suitable. So these data will help you to plan accordingly. So for example, if someone is saying that meeting time is not suitable, how as a school leader I can keep the meeting, maybe I can keep it in the afternoon or online, or maybe I can choose a day where it's less hectic for the parents, or a day maybe on weekends when they're available. So collecting this data insight will help you to organize your PTM better. So it's important to have proper data and data analysis. So again, here you can just ask certain questions like, what do you recommend for us? Or what else we can do to serve you better? Some of the responses, as I said, that you can create a sheet here and it will show you responses in a sheet format. But you'll also get to see automatically generated report here. So here we have filled some dummy data. So here you can see 12 responses is filled, and you see that in class 12, like this is like these are the in these grades, these many parents are attending. Sorry, these have filled the form. These sections, from these sections, from this grade, they have filled. These are the parents. This is the parent contact number. Now, out of 6 PTM, how many have you attended this year? So, as I said, that's a comparatively analysis. So here, 50% of the parents are saying, it's representing by orange color, that they have attended 4. So out of 6 PTM meeting, they have attended 50%. Out of 12 people, 6 people have responded that they have attended 4 meetings. So this data is giving an insight that okay, these people are attending 4, but there is one person who have attended only 1, or like there are people who have said that they have attended 5. The number is less. So here, using this data, you can know that like what is the attendance ratio and how you can intervene better. How do you rate the PTM? So maximum rating is 5. It's 3 and 2, but nobody is saying that it's excellent. So that is something you can work on. Why? What is the reason for not attending the meeting? Maximum people have responded, around 83, that they are working and they cannot take leave. So can you arrange it on a day when they are available? Or is there any other parent who is available in the home who can attend on the behalf of the parent? The busy parent, so other can be again. So this is basically the graphical representation, and the most effective way to collect a survey is using a Google form, but you can definitely do it in the form of FGD, or you can just have a conversation. Later on, you can either fill an Excel sheet and or fill a form and have all the data set together, set and analyze and generate such reports. So hope like these tools are effective, and as I said that we will be covering the data analysis, that how you can do the data analysis. So using these tools, you can easily put in the data, see the insight clearly, and work on your action plan. Let's understand this with the help of a case study. So here the focus is a lot on how data is effective and database decision is effective. So here there's this case study of a school where like we want to see that the school, this is XYZ school, and the teacher dropout of the school is high, and this is the challenge the school is facing, and the school leader wants to create an action plan. So do you think the data will add value, and what sort of data, type of data we should be capturing to know that why the dropout rate is high? I'll request everyone again if you can put it in Q&A section, that what type of data will be capturing. uh, is this a diagnostic assessment we should be focusing on, or the descriptive assessment which we should be focusing on, or prescriptive assessment? So what type of data which we need to gather? Because I think to come up action plan, once you have the data inside, it's easy to make the action plan. So, but it's important to know that what sort of data you'll be focusing on, and how which analysis method you'll be using. Is high, the diagnostic assessment can play a crucial role, but a descriptive assessment also, that who are the teachers who are leaving, like which grade teachers leaving, which subject teachers are leaving. So it can be descriptive and diagnostic both. So let's understand and see that what steps can be taken. So the type of data which you can gather all sort of data here. So in demographic data, maybe you can focus on the attendance detail. So how many teachers are coming, how regularly they are coming, how frequently they are taking leave. So you can take the demographic data to say that what is the attendance report, and that will help you to understand that has this to anything to do with the dropout rate or the satisfaction level of a teacher. Then you can focus on the achievement data, that how the teacher is performing. Maybe the morale of the teacher dropout rate is also because of the competency a teacher has. So this data will also give you insight related to that, and this can be done using latest observation. You can also have a process data. You can focus on collecting the process data to understand that what sort of practices the teacher is using, what's the student behavior. Maybe the students are bullying the teacher, or maybe the subject teacher is catering is difficult to handle, or maybe the classroom setting is not appropriate. So for example, I am teaching a subject which is an application based, which requires a lot of application based activities, but I don't have sufficient resources as a teacher, or maybe I'm not equipped enough to cater those activities, or indulge student in the activity. Is that also causing my low morale or interest in teaching, and that is leading to the dropout? And the other is the perception data. related to the various factor which is affecting the teacher motivation. Are they being paid enough? Are they think that they are growing in the setup? What sort of resources are available for them? What are the facilities or benefits, additional benefits they are getting from the school? So it's important, if you are focusing on one issue, to gather all different sort of data, and this is just example to ensure that what's the dropout rate. So here you can gather this information using a Google sheet. You can input all these data on a Google sheet and analyze it. So the two data set analysis method which you can use, as I've mentioned, can be descriptive and diagnostic. That what is happening right now. Maybe if teacher dropout is high, which sort of teachers are dropping? Are they new teachers? Are they old teachers? Are they looking for growth? Are they looking for monetary benefit? Are they looking for recognition? Are they looking for more training and development, or they want to improve? They are stagnant with their growth, or the pedagogical or competencies. So you can have this descriptive analysis and also diagnostic both, to understand that okay, these set of people are going from my school, or these set of teachers are going from my school, and why they are going from my school. So I hope this session have added value, and how the data plays a major role in coming up with the key insight and work around it. So let's move and see what we have covered in today's session. So today we have covered data is crucial to make informed decision, and there are four major types of data which you need to cover while doing the data analysis, or while collecting the data, that is demographic, achievement, process, and perception. Maybe you can focus on one type of data at a time, or can have a mix of different data set, as we have seen in the case study, that this gives you a holistic insight that what is happening. So it's totally up to your school and your requirement. The other thing which we have covered is data analysis, and it's like basically understanding the useful information and formulating your strategies to improve better. The four types of data analysis which we have covered today is descriptive, diagnostic, predictive, and prescriptive. So here, if you see in terms of implementing the NEP, predictive and perceptive analysis is crucial. So in predictive, you know that what are the changes which are going to happen in a schooling system in next 5-10 years, and how you can, in prescriptive analysis, you can understand and analyze what sort of resources you have, and how you need to start training your teachers effectively to cater to those challenges or changes which will need to implement NEP in 5 year or 10 years down the line. So for different things, you can use different type of data analytics and information. So the data analysis process which we have covered is, you need to plan that how you're going to gather data, who will be the your target audience, whom you will be targeting, what would be the duration, which tool you will be using. So this is something you have to do while doing the data exploration part, whom you will be interviewing, or whom you will be talking to get the or whom you will be sending these Google form to gather the data. The other is collection and organizing the data. Once you have collected, how you going to collect it? Once you have collected, put it in a Excel sheet, break it down, sort it, clean the duplicate data, organize it in an effective way, then focus on data analysis. You can use you can do data analysis using the three tools which we have covered, is Box and Whisker, check, sorry, check sheet, and the survey method. So these tools, data analysis tools, which you can use and do effective interpretation of the data, and this will help you to grow your school effectively, as this database decision making are effective, and we have seen it through this. Also, whatever tools I have shown you, will be sharing each and every tool with you along with this deck. But we also at Varthana, we have our two partners, that is Lead School and Kyan. So Lead School is an innovative tech-based learning solution for better practices, and this also helps you to gather a lot of effective data, and along with some small reports. So if you're interested in a like hybrid curriculum to develop your school, you can contact us. We also have our other academic solution partner, that is Kyan. So if you're interested in setting up a digital classroom, which is again need of NEP, and NEP is talking a lot about including more digital engagement in teaching learning process. If you're interested, you can reach out to us for this as well. It's a portable multimedia projector for school. If you're interested, you can reach out to us on hello@varthana.com, and our contact detail is this.